Government released a statement hitting back. Our Clint Watson just returning from Miami covering the Prime Minister, and he joins us live with those details. Hi, Clint.
Good evening, Alto. And this statement, of course, is coming in from Prime Minister Christie moments ago in response to what you just read there from Baha. The Prime Minister says he dismissed an absolute nonsense, those comments read by Baha. Baha suggested that the government's initiation of winding up proceedings amounts to a seizure of private assets. Now, continuing, the Prime Minister said that it was disappointing that the principals of Baha would not only utter such untruths, but that they would do so in a way transparently calculated to damage the economic interests of the Bahamas. The Prime Minister continued by saying that the nationalization of private property is not only unconstitutional, but it is completely repugnant to his personal political philosophy and ethos of governance and that of his government. He's therefore rejected in the strongest possible terms any suggestion to the contrary. Now, also addressing the matter was the Attorney General, the Honorable Alison Maynard Gibson QC, and she said that it is unfortunate that Baha has mischaracterized the winding up proceedings in the way that it has. Quote, she says, if appointed by the court, a provisional liquidator would be wholly independent and would be subject to the control and oversight not of the government but of the Bahamas Supreme Court. Moreover, the Attorney General continued, there is no truth whatsoever in the suggestion that this is an attempt by the government to nationalize Bahamas' private assets, something that is not only constitutionally unlawful, but completely contrary to the policies of successive governments of the Bahamas. That, she says, is most certainly not the purpose nor the effect of any order that might be made for provisional winding up of anything in the Bahamas. Now, the Prime Minister also repudiated as egregiously insulting and verifiably false Bahamas' statement that he had misled the Bahamian people in his national address last night. In fact, he said, quote, my version of events as related in my address is supported in every material, particularly by China Exim Bank. In particular, he noted, China Exim Bank has expressed its disappointment to him today over Bahamas' lack of flexibility in this matter and their unwillingness to accept the sensible solutions offered to them in Beijing. So there we have Prime Minister Christie's response to this. And again, we emphasize he is basing all of this information here, particularly with those talks. And of course, the China Exim Bank, who themselves, he said, expressed around their table their disappointment that Baha is not coming to the table and negotiating in good faith. Live in the newsroom, I'm Clint Watson. Back to you, Altavis.